What's up, everybody? It's regular Why We Love Horror. We're talking about movies again, movies that you should be seeing, for the most part. I'm JWMaher. That's Aaron Brooks. Aaron, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. This is a movie that I believe was on my top 10 list I sent you guys for the beginning of the year for 2026, but I don't think it made our overall list. But I read the premise and I saw like the poster. I was like, this looks like a movie up my alley. And I've also seen one of the movies, but we're talking about OBEX. And I'm very excited to talk about this movie, directed by Albert Birney.
We were just talking beforehand. Albert Birney, maybe a name you don't know, and his uncle, also maybe a name you don't know, Pat Birney, who was the main character in Sam Raimi's Crime Wave. That's it's a coincidence, I guess. But yeah. OBEX, I'll take a stab at the.
It's kind of easy enough.
There's a man named Connor. He lives with his dog Sandy. He's got like a real like stereotypical like advent of the personal computing revolution autistic existence. Like he's probably like one of the greater autistic protagonists we've seen in recent history. He's kind of agoraphobic. He kind of loves his dog. I wouldn't say he kind of loves his dog. He really loves his dog. His dog is his best friend.
Sandy.
He makes a living doing like dot matrix portraits of people. Like people send him a picture, he makes dot matrix portraits of them. And one day he's like, you know what? I want to be at the cutting edge of the Apple IIgs gaming revolution. And he sends away for a mail order game called OBEX, which at first seems like hot garbage, but turns out the game is very, very real. And that is OBEX.
Yeah. Right off the bat, like I could tell this was a very indie horror movie. So like, if you don't like indie horror, like don't watch this movie to start out, or indie movies in general. Like it is, I would say it's horror, but it's not like a scary movie at all. It's much more atmospheric and like about engrossing you kind of into the world. Like the first 15 minutes are extremely mundane by design. And, it's just like you're just watching a very, someone who just loves their dog, VHS tapes, and video games, which I think probably a lot of people can relate to. And right off the bat, Sandy, the dog, played by Dorothy, the dog. Sandy's better than Indy. I'll say it right now. So this is my personal dog horror movie, centric horror movie of the year, even though it's a very different approach.
I'm older than you, as we know. But when I was like an older elementary school kid, like there was a company that, and they might still be around, I don't know. There's a company that made games for computers called Sierra. And they made Police Quest and Leisure Suit Larry and like the Black Cauldron game. And like that is what OBEX is. It's one of those games. So if you're like nostalgic for like the those types of games, being like, as old as I am, like this is a horror movie about those types of games. He basically gets pulled into a Sierra game, which is like kind of cool. It hit a couple of nostalgia buttons for me. And I'll just toss up spoilers, because not that was a huge spoiler. Obviously, that's what happened in this movie. But we'll toss up spoilers. This game, however, when he first gets it's led to believe that he basically got ripped off. It's just like a wacky game that somebody put a picture, like a really crappy rendering of him in the game, and he goes back and forth, and it's like really shitty. But it turns out the game, I guess, and you can correct me if I'm misinterpreting, the bad guy in the game, Ixaroth, is real, and he's able to like subvert like the floppy disk and come into reality, and he subverts Connor's entire reality, kidnaps his dog, and then pulls Connor into the game. And then the movie becomes Connor rescuing Sandy from Ixaroth.
Yeah, it is a really simple premise, honestly, that is like very like at a low budget, done extremely creatively. Like it's like I use very layman's terms, but it's like David Lynch mixed with 100 Beavers. If you've seen hundreds of Beavers, like it really is like maximizing. And there's like a ton of that passion on display. Like this guy's clearly a huge fan of like what he's portraying in this. It comes from a very authentic source, like, just like all of that. And, it's essentially at the end of the day about a boy and a dog. So, like, it really is.
And the mechanics of the game, like once he's in the game, are like pretty cool. Like he goes to a shop, he buys items. He's able to continue if he dies.
I mean, Hundreds of Beavers. Like, there's all the video game mechanics, just a very different game.
Yes, exactly. And then it's not like, I wouldn't say, I mean, it is horror. There's horror elements to it, but I wouldn't say it's particularly like a frightening movie. It's like a hopeful kind of spooky, wacky kind of situation he gets himself into. And it really, I guess, at the end of the day is about like, just like the power of the power of love and positivity and like accomplishing tasks and being an independent young man.
Yeah, and how important a dog is to a boy. It really is that simple. For me, like, anticipating this movie when I just read the premise, like, I do think it was very different than what I was expecting, but I'm very, very okay with that. Strawberry Mansions, like, if you've seen that or if you like this, go see Strawberry Mansions, because Strawberry Mansions is very colorful. It's like, if you've seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, it's like very along those lines. So, and with this movie, like, he's definitely like taking a very different approach. So I'm excited to see whatever Albert Burney does next. I recommend this one to anybody who's interested in indie films.
Now let's go over to our ratings and see how we feel. I'd recommend this movie. I'm a fan of it. Like, I guess maybe like you probably like it more than I did. I feel like it is at the end of the day an indie movie. However, there's nothing bad I could say about it. It's just not like the most polished movie I've seen this year, but I'm leaning good to great. 3.5 stars for me. It's definitely worth your time.
And I'd bump it up just a little bit here. Asher was not a fan. I'll give it a 4 stars. Thank you. That's all my thoughts.
Oh, well, that'll do it for this episode of Why We Love Horror. I am JWMaher. That's Aaron Brooks. Asher's been there too. If you've made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror and check out the Letterboxd challenge right here. Go there as well. We'll be here probably even more often because we were seeing a bunch of stuff over the weekend, and we're going to make every effort to review every movie. So come back next time for Why We Love Horror.